As we all know, the Doom multiplayer was met with a rather, shall we say, scathing reception, as many people were left with disappointment about what we had on offer there. But for many, including myself, the real thing is about the single player, which of course is coming out as well as the rest of the game on May the 13th, and we have now the PC requirements for Doom on PC. So, let us begin with the minimum specs. The OS will shock you, I'm sure. Windows 7, 8.1 or 10. 64-bit versions. CPU will need to be a Intel Core i5-2400 or an AMD FX A320 or better. 8 gigs of RAM, a rather hefty 55 gigs of hard drive space, and GPU-wise will be a GTX 670 or an AMD Radeon HD 7870 with 2 GB of VRAM. As for the recommended, we of course have the same OS recommendations, but with the CPU, we have an Intel Core i7-3770, an AMD FX 8350 or better, 8 gigs of RAM still, again 55 gigs of hard drive space. GPU wise though, we'll need a GTX 970 or an AMD Radeon R9 290 with 4 gigs of VRAM, so quite a jump there in the VRAM and GPU requirements. I also have as well the launch timings as well as the console preload information and just Steam preloading as well if you're interested. For New Zealand it's 12 AM, Australia 12 AM, all this is local time of course, North America is 12 AM ET, Europe is 12 AM, you're at local, same for Asia, and Japan where it will launch on May the 19th instead of May the 13th. So basically 12 AM local time for everything except North America where it's 12 AM ET, so just keep that in mind. As for Steam, preloading will begin 12 AM local time worldwide on May the 11th, and the same for PlayStation 4. And if you're on Xbox One, if you pre-ordered the game digitally, you can actually preload the game now if you so wish, although it's not out for a while, so I'm not sure why you'd use that much hard drive space, there we go. But, you know, the option is available if you so desire. Now it's nice to know the full specifications. It'd be interesting to see how well the actual full-fledged game runs. I had a few problems with the anti-aliasing settings on the game, but of course the graphics options on the beta were very limited. You could basically not touch any of it because obviously it was a beta, so I can't really speak too much on performance. It seemed pretty solid apart from those issues that I had where I had to turn down anti-aliasing because of some pretty epic hitching that I had. So hopefully that has been resolved and we have of course more tweaking options available, but of course we're going to be finding out quite soon how good it is. So the question now remains, is Doom gonna shake off the rather bad smell that's been following it around since we all played the multiplayer beta? I really hope so. For me, Doom is all about the single player. The multiplayer was very disappointing and kind of made me concerned about the future of the single player, but hopefully it'll be good, of course it is a different development team that made the multiplayer versus the single player. So we shall see how much they differ and whether or not the Doom single player will be the Doom experience we've all been waiting for. It's going to be interesting to find that out. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.